Today we're going to preview the first three Bassmaster Bass Nation Kayak Series events. Super excited to get the season started, and here we go. March the 4th and 5th, Lake Guntersville. Really excited to start the season off on a TVA lake. That being said, I don't have the greatest history on TVA lakes. Nonetheless, I'm going to figure them out one of these years, and it's going to have a great event. You know, I've been to Guntersville several times in the fall. Never fished it in the winter. Never fished it in the pre-spawn. It should be kind of like right in my wheelhouse, I think. I've a lot of research. I mean, if there's info on any lake in this country, that you can find info on Guntersville. I mean, there's absolutely no secrets. It's hard to find something out of the way, something sneaky. Not that it can't be done. I just think it's a little more difficult. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of focus on the more community stuff and just try to outfish people around me and really dial that in. That's something I've worked on this winter. I think depending on what the grass is going to be like, there's going to be a little bit. We've had a fairly cold winter, and northern Alabama's had a cold winter as well. So I'm curious to see what the grass is going to be like. That's going to dictate a lot of what I do. And honestly, I think, it seems like on the bigger events, most people going into Guntersville say, oh, well, maybe that typical stuff won't play, but it always does. So I'm not trying to be too out of the box on this one. I just want to do a really good job of dialing in kind of the usual deal, execute, as best I can, and hopefully have a good event. From there, the month of April, back to Lake Hartwell. I've fished one event on Hartwell. It was a Hobie event. Had a really great finish, top 12 finish there. On a shad spawn deal. That was a little bit later in the year. That was in May. So this is going to be, I think there's going to be a lot on beds. Still going to focus on largemouth and do the typical Hartwell thing where you find a little area, to fill in with spots, and then you kind of spend the rest of the day upgrading with those bigger largemouth. But man, it's no grass in Hartwell, fairly clear water, docks. Feel really comfortable on that fish area. I did feel really comfortable on it the one time I was there. I bunkered down in one area. I mean, it wasn't very big. It was maybe a quarter-mile stretch in the back of a creek, and just really picked that area apart. Is how I had that great finish out of for the Hobie event. So really happy to head back there. And the third one, dude, this is kind of a wild card. Not a lot of information on it, even though there was a major event that was held there, Possum Kingdom in Northeast Texas. Dirty water, shallow water. I hate to say that each one of these three tournaments is in my wheelhouse, but I do feel excited about each of these first events. I think that Possum Kingdom deal, that's going to be in June. So it's going to be interesting to see if there is deeper water stuff that plays or how many fish stay shallow. I think a lot of that is going to have to do with the level of the lake. If we get a lot of rain in the spring and if it's still high, that shallow deal is still going to play. Haven't really dove into this one that much to get an idea of how it's going to fish. Either way, I think Bass did a fantastic job with the events, the scheduling. Really looking forward to the season. I think it's going to be awesome.